Hello and welcome to Planet Cal, and I am Kelly and this is my face. I thought I would come on and introduce myself face to face because I have not ever done that yet, and I thought I'd give it a try and try to get more comfortable with the camera so it's not so awkward to watch and get a little bit more natural. So if you want to watch me get a little bit better with this, or you'd like to see more content of me speaking to the camera, then like and subscribe below for future content, and I will aim to do this a lot more. Now, I need to apologize because I haven't been filming lately. I have gone back to work 5 days a week, so I've been super busy and I don't have time to do what I used to because I don't have my Fridays anymore. So I have been getting lots of orders from the Planet B, which is awesome, but it is taking a bit of time away from my videos. So I would like to do that more, but also I kind of just took a halt on my budgeting videos because it wasn't, one, I was too lazy to follow up on it, so that's on me. And two, it kind of wasn't fitting to my system of what I was doing digitally on my accounts and with my pays as well. So I'll explain what that is, and that's the point of this video. But strap yourselves in and we'll get stuck into it, and I'll explain to you what is my little hack. So it may be a hack for some, it may just be common knowledge. People are probably doing this. Let me know in the comments if you are already doing this. But it is something that kind of changed my life in terms of simplifying my finances and keeping myself on track of my bills. So I was always the one who was paying, like, defaulting late payments, late fees. Oh, it was the worst. I used to hate it. And this was because I was straight out of college / university. And when we lived at college, which, just to explain, I'm Australian and I went to the University of New England in Armidale, and college for us is considered the accommodation residence where you live. So you pay a certain amount of money each week and you get your room and your heating, electricity, food, even your cleaning. Like, they had a cleaner come and clean for you. Like, I think there's so many young teenagers out there, or young adults, who didn't appreciate how good that was. And now I think about it, I was like, man, I really should have appreciated that more, because I remember so many kids just whinging that cleaners were in their space. Anyway, but what happened was we moved out of college because we went straight from school to college / university and then into the real world. So me and my husband moved out in my last year of uni into an apartment because it was just slightly cheaper. I think we paid $250 each, so $500 a week, and we just thought it'd be cheaper for the two of us to have a smaller apartment with lower rent and just buy our groceries as we needed. One thing that I was always savvy about was I knew that the electricity provider had what you call a connection fee. And I don't know if this still applies. This was in New South Wales, but at the time when you signed up to your electricity, you paid a connection fee. Now, there was a way to waive the connection fee by going onto a direct debit system. So that worked fine, except that they always debited me. And being at uni, I didn't have a steady income, so it would fall on a day and I'd be overdrawn, and then I'd hit a late fee, and it was just too much stress. Like, all this money would be due all at once and it'd stress me out. So one thing that I learned when we moved to Port Macquarie was that I would, they had a bill smoothing plan, but however, because we'd moved from Armidale to Port Macquarie, we didn't, for some reason, have a billing history with that account based on the state we lived in, or whatever it is, or the town we lived in. So they would create a bill smoothing budget, which is an amount due each week according to household estimates of 2 people in your area. So it was always way higher than I knew that we would ever spend our electricity, because we were just kind of the two of us both working, we were never home, so our electricity was low. So they would put us on this bill smoothing, and then after a couple of months of bills, then I decided I could get off that smoothing plan and I could just move into my own system, which is where I decided that I could determine how much was due on my electricity each quarter, because I knew how much it was kind of standard, and whether this is quarterly or monthly, you get a feel of how much electricity you're going to use after a while, because it kind of just doesn't fluctuate terribly, right? So based on that, I think it was something like $30 a week, and I would just set up a BPay in my account that was recurring every day that my pay landed. That $30 a week would auto debit to the provider, so that by the time the bill rang around, I would either be two positions. I would be in credit, which was a win, or I would have just a minute amount, so it wasn't a huge bill shock that you would ordinarily get. Now, this can apply for a lot of your regular bills that get paid by BPay. So you've got like your telephone and your internet, and a few other expenses that come out that are pretty standard. So what you do is you just divide that expense over the 4 weeks for a month and put it aside and set up the BPay so it goes direct to the biller. So by the time the bill rolls around, it's covered. So say for your telephone, say your telephone bill's $100 a month. So you could then set $25 a week BPay to your telephone provider. It would then sit as a credit. It would credit each week for the 4 weeks. And by the time your bill came, it'd be a zero. So you were winning. You were ahead on your bills. You didn't have late fees and you didn't have any stress, unless you didn't have a fixed bill and you were paying like per call or whatever, per data. Especially a lot of people were using data at that time and it was just blowing out their bills. But if you were on those fixed unlimited plans now, it's kind of standard and nothing changes. Now, the other benefit was you were basing it on a 4-week month, right? And sometimes in the year, there'd be 5 paydays in a month. So then you would get 1 week ahead and that would just accrue and you'd get on top of your bills. So it was a really nice feeling to be on top of your bills. You knew exactly how much money you had left over at the end of the month, right? At the end of the week after your payday, because everything had gone out to all the people that you needed. Now, the reason that it is changed a little for me now, and what I have explained in my other videos, is that I have a sinking funds for my bills. So we actually have the company now, and because we're both working from home, we can apportion a small amount of our overheads, like our electricity, to the company, but then it means I need to be invoiced the full amount from the billing company so that I can properly percentage it out, if that makes sense. So I can't now send direct to the company, so I can't have that lovely credit feeling or that low balance feeling when that comes. So what I do instead is I have an ING account, which allows you to open a number of savers accounts, and I've named them accordingly for each bill. So I have my phone and water, my pool and water amount, which is like $10 a month for the pool, a week, sorry, and $10 a week for the lawns, and that accrues until the time comes when I need to buy chlorine or the pool guy comes or the water bill is due. Now, here's one thing you need to take into account if you're going to do these accounts. You have to try and be diligent and not tempted to tap your accounts for other reasons. So like, don't be like tapping into your electricity account thinking that you're going to save $50, so you might just spend $50 on a pair of pants or something like that. Because once you get into that cycle of tapping $50 from your electricity, then the bill will roll around and you've got to find that $50 from another account. So then you'll maybe tap another account and then it creates this cycle. So you have to be super diligent. That's why I've always kind of felt that the BPay system, direct to the provider, means the money's out of your hair, it's gone, you're not tempted to touch it, and it's cleared, right? So maybe if you are a little bit tempted and you tend to just tap your accounts a little, consider doing the BPay. But you will still need to have your little sub accounts anyway, because there will be providers that you can't pay in installments so that you can stay in credit. So one example comes to mind for me right now is my Rego. So my Rego I do quarterly at the moment. I pay a little smidge more, but it just makes it more manageable. If you pay annually, it's a huge amount. And if you haven't got that set aside, you're scrambling for your accounts, you're pulling money from elsewhere, you're cutting back on your groceries, like you're not eating as much for the week just to cover those extra expenses. So if you determine how much your Rego is, say it's like $1,000 a year, right? And that's an estimate. Divide it by 52, you've got X amount a week out of your bills, and you just move that into your account. Now, this is where you have to be super diligent and say, look, I haven't covered any extra out of that account. And once you know how much money you're earning, if you tap it, you're going to know that you're not going to have any extra funds to play with to pull it from elsewhere. So you can get yourself into a negative. That's why I think the quarterly for the Rego is good, because I can just hold that money for a short amount of time and pay it off when it's due and then start again. So there's not this like you see $1,000 there and you think, oh, I can just quickly grab those flights to Fiji if we weren't in this whole scenario right now where you can't travel, you know? So that's just something to consider if you have to be super diligent. But you'll see your accounts fill up. It looks really good on your statements for the bank that you're just really efficient with your finances if you're looking for a home loan or anything like that. But also it just stops those overdue fees, because now the credit reporting is reporting on any late payments made with your bill providers, so that can affect you that if you're always late, because I was always late. I was always getting overdue fees. It was just adding to my bill each time. It was really annoying. So yeah, just get on top of your finances, figure out what you need, think about your annuals, break it down into weekly payments, set it into a sub account, and if you can, be paid directly to the provider in advance so that by the time it'll credit with them. Now the argument is if it's in their account, they're earning interest, but if it's not a huge amount, like with your telephone, like if you're saying if it's $100 a month, that's not going to give you much interest, so you may as well better off just sending the $25 a week to the provider and getting it out of your hair, so you're good. But if it is your rego and you do it only annually and you push your money into a high interest savers account so you can just get a little bit more interest on that because you're not going to touch it for 6 to 12 months or whatever, then try that as well, because you can get a little bit of extra interest on that. And I know ING do it and Up do it and all those people do it, and even Up has an auto transfer system where it just divvies your accounts into your sub accounts too, so that's another option for you as well. But anyway, that is my little tip. Tell me if you are using that, if you prefer the BPay method or the sub accounts method. If you have any other awesome tips for us, we can share, but hopefully that helps you get on top of things. It'll just make you feel so more relaxed because everything's systematic and automated and just all covered. You're not going to be scrambling for your bills. So it keeps you on track. It keeps you stress-free, chill. You can enjoy your life. You know how much you've got to spend and play with for takeaway and like spendings. You want to splurge on makeup, or you're going to splurge on something else. Other things to consider: work out how many haircuts you get a year. Put that aside into an account. If you get your nails done and your nails take you every 3 weeks and it costs $60, and put $20 away, and then you'll have like your little nails account. The Up Bank has cute little emojis, so I actually have a nails account and I've got the little nails thing. I now have my own nail kits, but I'm still going to get my pedicures done with my nail account. So yeah, you can make it look cute with Up or ING. Now, I'm not affiliated with any of these are just banks that I use myself, but they are great because they don't charge you any overdrawing fees, which is always something good. Like if you do occasionally overdraw, so the one thing that I am not great at is remembering that my insurance is due on a certain day, so I need to pull it out of that sub account and into the account that it's due. So another reason why I advocate for sending it directly to the provider where possible. But if you can't, just maybe set alert alarms on your phone so you don't forget. I did have that, but then I moved to my planner and stopped looking at my planner, so then I kept missing it. And thankfully ING just kind of rejects the transfer because I hadn't moved it over, but doesn't hit me with a fee. Whereas Combank, when I was with Combank, they were hitting me like $10 every time a debit failed. So that is definitely another thing to consider. Look at your fees and charges of your bank. But anyway, I hope this has been insightful. I hope I can give you more content. I hope you can see my face more often and it wasn't too uncomfortable for you to watch me, and I wasn't too awkward for you. But otherwise, I would love to see you more. If you would like to see me, leave a comment below. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to ask. And I'm thinking we'll do a few more videos, like a room tour of my space. It's kind of a mess now, so you can just see the clean part. All around me here is all a mess. But otherwise, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Thanks so much for watching, and please do subscribe below for future content. You can also visit me on Instagram at PlanetKel or the Planner BAU. And for all my stickers, head to theplannerbau.etsy.com.